Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and I have a Stamps in the Mail Club video featuring Oh So Eclectic, which is a stamp set that just came out in the catalog this summer. You might have heard me say that it's a 3-in-1 stamp set, so keep that in mind. It's a really great value and a great stamp set. The card that I'm going to show you is one that's sort of like a center feature card. And I love this one because it gives you a chance to really feature some of the pretty images and the great way these die cuts work together, as well as some papers and some cardstock and just really color. So we're looking at summer colors, bright things, with a neat focal point. So this is a card theme that you can use on any stamp set. You can do Christmas with it. But I like the way this one came together. So let's get stamping and I'll give you some tips for your Stamps in the Mail Club kit. Okay, so we're starting with our Night of Navy cardstock, and I admit I don't use Night of Navy all that often, but it is in the Eclectic Layers Designer Series paper, and I am just in love with it again. It's a great, crisp summer neutral color. I'm just loving it. You can see it here on the Designer Series paper how well that works out. So, okay, this is really actually a pretty simple card, and like I said, you can use it with any of the stamps that you choose for any season. So I'm going to start with my background here, and the image that I need is this little plus sign, these little asterisk kind of pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and attach them here to my block and ink them up in Emerald Envy. So with Stamps in the Mail Club, the ink spots are included with your kit. If you don't need the ink spots, that's fine. You can upgrade to full-size ink pads, or you can just pick something different entirely. So whatever works. It's a very flexible program. Okay, so I have our background here. Our pieces, just to kind of lay them out and see exactly or close to where they're going to go, we're going to go about in there. And we're going to do our flower. Oh, and we have a greeting. This would be a great missing you kind of card. So attach that there and stamp it just down here towards the bottom corner. So there we go, in Emerald Envy. All right, let's come in here because what I want to show you next is the stamping here on our die cut. So this is die cut with Eclectic Layers, and one of the nice things about Stampin' Spots is that you can see really easily where you need to position ink for going ahead and doing multicolored images. So I'm inking up just the top part here with my Peekaboo Peach, and then the bottom part here I'll ink with my Emerald Envy, which is perfect. So then I'm going to take my top. It's much easier to stamp on pre-die cut pieces if you stamp upside down, and then don't push it with your hand. Just grab another block and go just a quick once up and down, and then you'll get a nice image. Okay, now on my sample card, you might be wondering how I got that awesome shading in the background. It really makes a big difference. So in the stamp set, just like the dies, there are a number of pieces that you can mix and match. So I'm going to take this piece, which makes the background of the flowers, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. I'm going to use Peekaboo Peach for the flower top, and go ahead and stamp here. I'm afraid this might not be clean. Oh, nope, it was clean. Totally no problem. Okay, sometimes I don't do a great job of cleaning my stamps, but I am going to stamp off. So I'm going to stamp once off, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply my piece. And same thing, I'm going to press it on there, and now I have a really pretty variegated color. The texture is on this stamp, so that's why it didn't come out like an even kind of area. And then I'm going to clean this because I'm going to use the same stamp to do my stem. So I am grabbing my Stampin' Scrub here, wash and dry, and then I always check it just to make sure it's clean, and it is. And so I'm going to go ahead and ink up this. And just like the last one, I'm going to go ahead and stamp off because I want it to be just a lighter green color. And then I'm going to stamp right there onto my flower. So there we have our flower piece. And then if that really bothers you, oh, that seems dangerous, I'll do it this way. Like I said, you always want to stamp on this side, right? There we go. Now I have green all the way up to the flower. See? All right. So then assembling our card, I am going to pop a Stampin' Dimensional on the back of my flower, and then this is going to get centered here on a piece that was done with the new Pretty Label Punch, which I love. So I'm going to put my flower up there. And then this is going to get layered onto a gold, pre-punched gold circle. This one is a 1 3/8 it looks like. But the thing is, if you put this dimensional right in the middle of the vellum, it will show. So you need to pop the dimensional where it's going to be hidden there on our vellum. And then I'm going to center this behind, okay? So there's kind of a cool layered embellishment. Sometimes you just don't want the gold to be quite so strong. All right, and then I'm going to bring this back over here to our card, and I am going to need a little piece of the ribbon from the sampler. So I'm going to go ahead and trim another length of Emerald Envy ribbon. That crinkled seam binding is just really fun stuff. And then all of these edges I'm just going to tear. Just sort of at a diagonal, or you can tear them. You can cut them if you really want to. I really like the effect of the torn edges. So, alright, so now that I have all my pieces, I'm going to flip this one over because I kind of like the one pattern with the solid colors. And I'm just going to pop some snail on here and start popping down some pieces. Now after you put that first one on, you're going to have to add a little more snail in the middle because they're you want them to stick actually. And oh, you know what? I think I wanted my ribbon under there. So, okay, here is a tip for you. If you have to take pieces up, don't pull back like this because it bends all the cardstock or all the paper fibers. What you want to do is you want to, watch it not work, you want to twist. So see how I can twist that and then pull off. So you're breaking the bond in the adhesive, which is a much kinder, gentler way to treat your paper. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to put down my ribbon. I'm going to add my Night of Navy paper DSP on top. And then I'm going to add back my piece of Peekaboo Peach cardstock. So that really brings out the color in our flower. All right, and then this goes right here on top. And we have so many dimensionals on there. I'm just going to go ahead and use some fast fuse and pop that down. I just want to make sure it doesn't pop off, so I like fast fuse for going on all those layers. Okay, always smush from the back side. So we have that. Then this gets layered. Now watch the navy pop out of this card. Do you see how it makes such a big difference to have the cardstock that matches the colors in your paper and your accents? It just really makes everything pop out. So I'm going to put some fast fuse here on the edges of my card front layer and pop that down. And then we need one more bling on here. There's always room for bling, right? So I have these faceted gems. I'm going to peel one off. They come in all different sizes, so you can, sometimes you have bigger bling and sometimes smaller bling. But there is our really fun and relatively simple sort of center focal point layered card. So this is a great way to use up scraps of designer series paper, things that you have on hand that you can't quite bear to throw away, but you just know there's a project for them. This is a great card for that kind of project. So, all right, be sure to request your Stamps and Mail Club kit for August if you haven't yet. I look forward to sharing more projects and stamping with you by mail. Happy stamping!